So you are going to crash into the opponent's monster and bring out him. And then once you're out, you're also going to crash straight into the opponent's monster, and then he's going to come out. I'm saying you're going to die. You guys are all going to die. Well, not exactly. Hello everyone, and welcome to my Dark Plant deck profile. This is a deck I've been working on for a little while. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to show it off to you guys today. So, what you see in front of you is a TomatoBox deck, and what you saw in the intro, Tomato is going to be crashing into other monsters and trying to bring out his other friends from the deck. This deck is very cool, very consistent. It has a really interesting dark engine. It's got a really interesting plant engine, and let me tell you about the cards that are in it. So first off, we got the plants. This is a plant deck, and it tries to make use of the best engines in Edison format. So that means we're going to have the Lone Fires to get out Titanium from the deck, but we're also going to have the Dandelions, and to top it all off, we have Amaryllis. Amaryllis is normally seen in more of a burn style deck, but this deck uses Amaryllis to get advantage in the end phase using all the plants that you're just going to be going through in your normal combo. Amaryllis sort of is not the sole focus of the deck, but is an excellent complement to everything this deck is trying to do. And let's talk about the best plant in the deck, the Mystic Tomato. This guy is great at filling up your graveyard with plants. It's great at filling up your graveyard with darks, and it is the middle point between all the plants in your deck and all the darks in your deck. And the coolest thing about Mystic Tomato in this deck is it has 3 great targets to get out of the deck. The first of those is Plague Spreader. You can facilitate a lot of synchro plays, especially with your extra dandy tokens that will be laying around. And the next target is Sangan, which gets you to the power plays of this deck. Not only is Lone Fire an amazing power play, but you also have Debris Dragon, which you can make Black Rose to nuke the field, or you can even search you for a quick draw if you have a Dandelion in your hand, and you can start Drill Warrior looping, which is very good when you can discard Amaryllis from your hand. And the last target, which is probably my favorite because this is a card that does not see much play in Edison format, is Violet Witch. This card ties this whole deck together in the similar way to Mystic Tomato, because this is a dark level 4 monster that is able to be got out of the deck from Mystic Tomato that searches all the plants in your deck besides Titanium. It says, if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 plant type monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. This means you can add Dandelion, you can add Lone Fire, and best of all, you can add Amaryllis. What this does is it makes it so if you have a trade-in in your hand, you can always search whatever plant you need. And if you have trade-in your hand, you can crash Tomato, crash Violet Witch, search Amaryllis, discard Amaryllis for trade-in, draw 2 fresh new cards, and now you have plants in your grave that you use in the process to fuel the Amaryllis that's already there. Another great interaction I want to talk about in this deck is if you have Tomato and Dad. This is a great deck to crash Tomato, crash a Sangan, or crash a Violet Witch, search your card, drop Dad, and you are feeling great. We also have some millers. We've got the Rykos and the Charge. In this deck, it's great to mill darks. It's great to mill plants. You specifically want to mill Amaryllis, but you're probably going to be milling any other random plants, and this will help fuel your Amaryllis in the late game and will help fuel your Dad. Plague Spreader, you get the idea. We have enough darks to run Allure. We've got all 10 of these darks right here, and this is a great Allure deck. Brain is amazing in this deck because you have a lot of normal summons. You've got your Caius. You could tribute summon these if you really needed to, as you also have your tuners in Plague Spreader, Zombie, and Debris Dragon if they have level 3. Then we've got your hand discard outlet. The downside of this deck is you do have to run some bricks, but it gives a little bit extra power and a little bit more fun of a late game plan than other decks that do not run these bricks. So to do so, we are playing trade-in and 1 card destruction. Instead of playing the 3 trade-in, I decided to go for 1 card destruction because it's a pseudo trade-in, and you can discard any of these level 8s out of your hand with it, but you can also discard some more plants. And discarding plants is really great in this deck because they'll fuel your Amaryllis and they'll help you draw into your bombs, which are better with the setup graveyard. These being Debris Dragon, Caius, if you can bring this back every turn, Dad, you get the idea. Next, we've got Foolish. This is a great Foolish deck, especially when you're running Debris Dragon, Amaryllis, Dandy, Plague. There's a bunch of cards you want to Foolish, and you feel great doing it every time. You've got your back row removal, pretty self-explanatory. And now one of the coolest techs is the triple Book of Moon. Because this is a recruiter deck, it's really great to be able to protect said recruiters. You don't really want to get your recruiters deprisoned. You don't want them to get mirror force. So having a card that you can use offensively or defensively feels really great in this style of list. Also, it really hurts to get your Amaryllis bottom list in the end phase whenever you bring it back. So keeping a Book of Moon in your hand to put Amaryllis face down feels amazing, and it can help protect a lot of your cards that get more advantage than other cards. It's much better to protect an Amaryllis that could come back 4 or 5 times, or a Tomato that can get something from the deck, than a normal 1900 beater that will get destroyed if it's face down. We've got some power traps that we really like to play. This is a great Call of the Haunted deck, bringing back a recruiter in the battle phase, or bringing back Sangan, Card Trooper, Dandelion, all feel really great. The side deck, we've got a little bit another Caius and some more darks. Decided to side the Chaos Sorcerer, especially if we side in the Cyber Dragons, because they add more lights to the deck, and it's a graveyard center deck. In some decks, Chaos Sorcerer is really good to banish something. We also have Burial from a different dimension, which is great whenever they DD Crow your Amaryllis, or DD Crow anything else that you want to put back in the grave. We've got a Mind Control for those Raikou decks or Hamster decks where we can steal theirs and summon a Raikou out of our deck. And then we've got some back row stoppers with the Royal Decrees. Talking about the extra deck, we've got a very tight extra deck because of the many different engines we're running. We've got all the best synchros, but in addition to that, we've also got targets for our Debris Dragon as well as targets for our Quick Draw. So the Debris Dragon, I've decided to run the Iron Chain, the Black Rose, and the Stardust, and the other Dragon Synchros. And for the Quick Draw, I am only on Drill Warrior and Nitro Warrior. There's an argument to be running Turbo Warrior, but I think these are the only two that I've needed. And with the only one Quick Draw, they're not going to come up as often as in a devoted Quick Draw deck. Everything else will just come up occasionally and lead you to victory. So that is the deck profile, and let's get into some games, or just one game, and show what this deck can really do. Alright, looks like we got a game against Fracco. Let's tell him good luck, have fun, and try to get a win with this cool Dark Plant list. We won the Rock, Paper, Scissors, which is obviously really good. This guy says hello, seems like a nice guy, and we will see what we can do. This opening hand is really cool. I really like the Violet Witch and the Raikou. And we've got some dads, so what we're going to do is we are just going to set the Violet Witch, and we're going to pass our turn. The Violet Witch can search for Amaryllis, which we can use trade-in for, draw 2 new cards, maybe draw into something that we want to see, and we will see what our opponent will do and who we were playing against. Ooh, maybe we should have set the Raikou. That is okay. Let's see if they want to Trap Dust Shoot us. It does not appear like they want to, which is fine with us. What we're going to do is just set another card, and then we will pass the turn. We don't really want to give them information about our Violet Witch, because it's very unlikely that they will crash into it. But now with this Raikou set, it's probably a Torrential that they set, and they wanted to get some value. So if they want to get value out of it, oh, maybe not. See if they want to Torrential their own card. They do not. This goes to the grave. We can declare this effect. So it looks like we're going against dragons, which is not too bad. We're going to add the Amaryllis to hand, which we can activate trade-in for next turn. Book of Moon is not bad at all. What we're going to do first is we are going to activate trade-in, discarding this Amaryllis. Draw 2 fresh cards. We drew into a Tomato. So now what we're going to do is we are going to flip summon Raikou, and we are going to target the back row. See if he wants a Solemn Judgment or anything. It was a Mirror Force, so now we can mill 3. Milled 3 cards. We did not mill any plants, unfortunately, but that is okay with us, because what we're going to do now is we are going to normal summon our Mystic Tomato. We can go to the battle phase. We can attack with our Tomato for 400. It will go to the grave. we can search out a Sangan. We can attack for 1800, 800. This will go to the grave, declare our Sangan, and search for a card, which will be our Lone Fire Blossom. Now what we're going to do is we are just going to set a... Unfortunately, we probably should have crashed one more plant, so we'll have this dad live next turn. But that's okay. We're going to set one card, and then we are also going to set a Call of the Haunted because we can get value if they heavy storm. And then we are going to end phase, and we are going to declare this Amaryllis, banishing this card and summon it in defense. And then we're going to end our turn. So here we've managed to get some great advantage. We're in a good spot. Our opponent's not doing much, and we have a lot of things that we can do. Feeling pretty good about this game. Next turn we can Lone Fire, which will fuel our Amaryllis. We also can probably drop Dad. And we've played our cards in a way that we can probably pull out ahead in this game. See what our opponent wants to do. If they attack my Raikou, I can book it. They do want to attack the Raikou, so what we are going to do is we're going to activate book and target this. So this will set the Raikou, and it will flip, and we can destroy his monster and mill 3 more cards. So we milled one more plant, and we destroyed his guy. And now next turn we can switch this Amaryllis to attack and put some pressure on with the Amaryllis. Which does not feel too bad. Koikimero Drago. Solidarity. Double Solidarity. An interesting card. Revealing a Wyvern. Alright. So we cannot special summon light or dark monsters. So unfortunately our dad is off the table even though it is live. And this guy is gaining a lot of attack. So it's gaining right now quite a bit. So what we can do is we have to get rid of this card, but once we do, he will have 2 dead cards. So I think we're probably going to want to set the Raikou and set the Torrential, which does not seem too bad. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So we're going to set the Raikou and set this Torrential, and then we are going to pass. He's just going to attack my guy. He'll take 800 damage. He has to take 800 damage from the... And now we can start our turn. Drawing the second Amaryllis is not bad. We can flip summon this Raikou, target this Drago, see if he has a Solemn Judgment for it. Ooh, it's unaffected, but its effects are negated. Raikou does not mill for cost, so I think he is fine. Now we cannot normal or special summon. So I think what we can do here is we're going to chain Torrential. Yeah, I think we can do that. And this will work because it's in the summon window of summoning the Raikou. And now we can really do whatever we want. I think we can even kill him because we have 1, 2, 3 darks. We will summon the dad. We will normal summon this guy. Declare. Fuel our grave with this. Summon this. Now we can go to battle phase. Attack for 28. Attack for another 28. And then we can activate call, targeting this. And attack for game. So that deck, or that game, showed off a lot of what we wanted. We're playing sort of against a Solidarity Dragon deck, which is kind of weird, but okay, that's not too bad. I think what we want to do is we kind of want some more of this stuff. It's pretty good to side in. Maybe we put in Mirror Force, doesn't seem too bad if they have a lot of attack. Then we can put in this. We can take out a Raikou. No, we can't take out a Raikou. Then we can take out... Seems pretty good. This, we're going second. And then maybe 1 tomato. Let's swap the cards. So that was a pretty good game at showing off what this deck is trying to do. We got a search off with the Violet Witch. And we got to use all the engines. The Dark Engine, the Plant Engine. Oh, this is not good. Okay, this might be a 3-game duel, but we're doing our best. Maybe we should have sided in the the Lightning Vortex, but it's all good. So we don't need to worry about DD Warrior Lady because he's got this Solidarity line. Totem Dragon got the nice reprint recently, not too bad. So we can get rid of the 5-headed dragon with the heavy. But these 2 red meds are going to be a problem. We'll just have to see what we can do. Mystic Tomato is not great. Let's see. If we set the Raikou, he can bring back only Totem Dragon next turn. But he could possibly have Prime Material or White Dragon, whatever that card is. Our hand is definitely not terrible, but this is definitely an uphill battle for us. We can go into a tomato line, which wouldn't be too bad. Could search us for Dandelion. We could also summon Trag on the final attack. So yeah, let's go for this tomato set, and we'll pass our turn. I mean, this hand has a lot of options, but against this double red med, it's going to be a problem. Hopefully he goes from his hand instead of going. So I don't know what. This game might be unwinnable, but I have a feeling he's got the Prime Material or something to stop our Raikou. Let's see what he wants to summon. Oh, I did not even think if he has Drago. This was the worst play into Drago. Alright, the 3rd red med. Not too bad. Oh, he did have the Drago. Does he have a 2nd Drago? Just this guy. Alright, I think we just want to admit defeat there. If we didn't have Drago, we could have summoned Trag. Trag pitched the Titanial, taken the 8, crashed 2 of the red meds, done some stuff, but that was a tough game. So we want something to kill Drago. Funny enough, Mind Control does kill Drago. These crows are pretty good. Book of Moon is good against Drago. Let's think. Unfortunately, Titanial and this stuff is less good in this matchup because of the Drago. Probably should have cited some electric viruses, but that is all good. Definitely citing this lightning vortex. Let's see what we can do. The Raikos are not bad, but sometimes if dragons open future fusion, it is not a good time. Let's see, we want to take out this. Maybe we do take out some of the plant stuff. Those two, and then we can take out drag, and we'll take this. All right. See if we can do any better this game. I probably should have taken out a trade-in, but it's all good. So here we can set Raiko, and then we will pass. Definitely a slower hand. Nothing if he draws the future fusion where you are going to be in trouble. Ooh, nothing. All right. Book is not terrible. So here I think we just want to set this dandelion, and we do want to pass again. The more turns we have to get to our play is good, but bad because he can probably draw future fusion, which would not be great for us. We'll see what he wants to do. A mass dragon. It's probably going to attack this one. We'll pop it and mill 3. Had the lance. Its effects are negated. Okay, an interesting tech. Future fusion is really good. So what we're going to do is flip this. Normal summon this. We're going to make our Cataster. We get 2 tokens. We can attack, it can declare. It'll pop his guy. Then we can set a mirror force. And do we want to set the call? We don't need to set the call, and then we will pass. If he does have heavy storm, we don't want to give him, he'll feel less good to activate it. Sets a back row. 2 back row and passes. So going for a Stardust does not feel terrible, but it is kind of risky. So we could also attack and then set our Cataster, which is not too bad either. Let's attack. He's just going to take that. And then we're going to go to main phase 2. We are going to set this card. And then we are going to pass. If we get value out of this Mirror Force, then we can Heavy Storm on the next turn. MST. Not too bad. I mean, not too good for us, but let's see what he has. Going to remove a token. He has to reveal a dragon in the end phase. Reveals Light and Darkness Dragon. Not too bad. So maybe we will Heavy Storm because we can't afford to play around the Mirror Force. I think we do want a Heavy Storm. We'll be in a great spot if we can Heavy Storm. We can get him very low, make a Stardust even. So we'll Heavy Storm. It was a bottomless, so now we will flip summon this. And then, should we make the Stardust? Probably not. Let's just go to battle phase. and we will attack this. And we'll attack for 11. Does not have gores. Now we can go to main phase 2. Set this. Set our book. And do we want to set the call? Not yet. And pass. He still has not used Heavy Storm. Alright. I mean, we played that game a lot slower, but I think we were in a pretty good position. Let's look back at the deck. I think the deck did what it was trying to do. We lost the game to the first turn Future Fusion, but we had a fighting chance if he didn't have Drago. I think the first game was really good at showing everything that this deck is trying to do. It's got a lot of good cards. The Tomato Toolbox is very fun. We got to show that off once, I think. Violet Witch, overall MVP. Very good at connecting the middle points of this deck, making everything really cool and good, and I'm glad I got to show it off. The side deck probably needs a little bit of work. Chaos Sorcerer is probably not the move, but I think with the amount of lights we have, there's maybe a spot for it, maybe if there's one more light in the deck, but you already play enough bombs, and it just feels like a really fun, cool deck. I'm really glad I got to show it off. I didn't get to show off any drill stuff, but drill is obviously really good in this deck. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this deck profile, and I think there'll be a in-person paper deck profile coming soon, so look out for that. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.